In the days of old, the soldiers of Israel trembled in fear as a colossal enemy emerged daily. Towering at nearly 10 feet tall, the fearsome Philistine giant Goliath loomed over them. Clad in heavy armor and wielding enormous weapons, he struck terror into the hearts of the Israelite warriors. Every day, Goliath stepped onto the battlefield and mocked both Israel and their God. He taunted the soldiers, daring any man brave enough to fight him in single combat. Despite the tempting reward promised by the king, riches and even the hand of his daughter, no one dared accept the challenge. Meanwhile, David, the youngest of 8 brothers, was not on the front lines but tending to his family sheep. When his father sent him to deliver food to his brothers, David arrived just in time to witness the giant's brazen defiance. Confounded by how this enemy could dare oppose the God of Israel, David's heart was stirred to action. Though his older brothers and fellow soldiers scoffed at the idea of a mere youth confronting a seasoned warrior, David's faith remained unshaken. When King Saul learned of David's willingness to fight, he was surprised by the young shepherd's courage. "You are only a youth," Saul cautioned, doubting that David could match the formidable Goliath. Undeterred, David recalled how he had protected his flock by slaying a lion and a bear. "The Lord, who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the bear, will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine," he declared. Though King Saul offered David his own armor, it was too cumbersome for the young shepherd. Instead, David chose to rely on the simple tools with which he was familiar: his shepherd's rod, his sling, and 5 carefully chosen smooth stones. As David advanced, Goliath scoffed at the sight of an unarmored youth approaching him. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" the giant taunted, cursing David by his pagan gods. With unwavering resolve, David answered, "You come at me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." Proclaiming that the battle belonged to the Lord, David charged forward. With one swift, well-aimed shot from his sling, a stone struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell with a resounding crash. Seizing the moment, David took Goliath's own sword and completed the victory. The enemy forces, shocked and dismayed, fled the battlefield. King Saul and his army pursued them, and with God's help, Israel emerged victorious. In the aftermath, while the people celebrated the triumph, David always reminded them that it was God who deserved the glory. In his songs of praise, most notably in Psalm 23:4, David reminded all that even in the darkest valleys, God's comforting presence dispels fear and guides us through adversity. The moral lessons of this story: courage in the face of fear. True bravery is not measured by physical strength, but by the willingness to stand up against daunting challenges. Trust in divine strength. When we rely on God rather than our own might, we can overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. Humility and faith. David's humble beginnings and steadfast faith remind us that greatness comes from trusting in God, not from external appearances or worldly power. The power of belief. A strong belief in God's support can inspire bold actions, even when the odds are stacked against us. Prioritizing purpose over reward. David's commitment to God's honor and justice outweighed any promise of earthly reward, teaching us the value of integrity and purpose. Let this timeless story inspire you to face your giants with courage and faith, knowing that with God by your side, no obstacle is too great.